But if you're going to send a letter, if you're going to put something in an envelope and you want it to get attention, make sure that that address is handwritten. I have a lot of insurance companies that are always sending things to my mailbox. And guess what they have found out? They have found out that if it looks like it has been a handwritten address, I'm much more likely to open the envelope. I bet if you think about it yourself, when you get something that's handwritten, you have a much higher chance of actually opening that envelope. Hi there and welcome to Real Life in Real Estate. I'm Mark Peebles, here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. Thanks for joining me today. Okay, so let's get into this today. I want to start off by talking about the relationship building framework. Last week, we talked about building your list and how the list is the lifeblood of your real estate business. If you haven't listened to last week, go back and listen to that one. But now we are moving forward on what do we do with this list? Now that I have it, what am I going to do to build relationships with those on my list? And so there are really, I have a 6-point relationship building framework that we use. Now, why 6-point? Because you can't just use one medium to advertise, to market. You can't use one medium to build relationships. So think of this. I get up every morning. My alarm goes off. I get out of bed, brush my teeth. I, put my hair back in place, and then I check my phone. And when I check my phone, I've got email marketing that's come in early in the morning. I have, I might jump on Facebook real quick and might get some Facebook ads and getting some things filling my mind. I walk outside, I get in my truck, and I start my drive to the YMCA. And as I'm driving to the YMCA, I drive through downtown Springboro. There's all kinds of small businesses with all of their little signs, and I pull up to the traffic light next to the local heating and air conditioning company's van that might be on his way to work. I am driving a little bit further up the road, and I see all kinds of restaurants and local businesses and all of their signs. I see a billboard. Then I get up to the high traffic area where you've got Dorothy Lane Market, more restaurants, more businesses. Then I pull in and I park at the YMCA, and as I'm walking into the building, right there on the ground in front of me is a little sign that is telling me about the local landscaping company that just redid all of their landscaping. I jump on the treadmill. I've got 4 TVs across the wall right in front of me. All of those are playing different commercials, and I'm seeing all of these brands, all of this messaging. And then I notice on the walls, there's all kinds of small businesses that have sponsored the most recent local fundraisers for the YMCA. So here I am. I'm less than an hour into my morning, and I've seen hundreds of messages already, hundreds of brands, hundreds of marketing messages filling my brain, and I'm not even an hour into my day. Do you know that the average American in a single day is going to be exposed to between 4,000 and 8,000 marketing messages? That is unbelievable. Our brains are hit so hard with so many different marketing messages. So why is it important that you hit your list, your relationship building list, from more than one point? It's because if you're only hitting them from one point, then there's so many other people vying for space in their head that you're going to get lost. And my goal is that when it comes time for them to think about real estate, that the first person that pops into their head is you. But the only way that we do that is hitting those relationships from multiple different points, multiple different marketing mediums. And so today, I want to talk to you about the 6-point relationship building framework. Now, I'm not going to get through the whole framework today, but let me give you the overview, and then we'll start talking about the first couple of items in the framework. But here's the thing. When you have your list, you have to consistently and systematically build relationships with your list. Consistently and systematically market to your list. And so with that, I'm giving you the full framework to consistently and systematically do it, and then we'll break down what consistency looks like in each area of the framework. So what are the 6 parts of the framework? Well, we use mail, okay? Snail mail. That's number 1. Number 2 is calls and text messages. We use emails of value. So we're sending emails out, right? And we get hit with so many emails every day. Why do companies use the emails? Because eventually they work, right? Eventually you click to buy, right? When you're in the right mode. We use an annual real estate review. This is an incredibly invaluable tool that we'll talk about. I've talked about it in the past, but we're going to keep talking about this, all right? You host a client event, and then you do social media. Now, notice I didn't say you do social media and that's all you need to do, but that's what so many agents are leaning on. I know an agent who's been wildly successful on her social media. And when I asked her about her list, who she's marketing to, who she is consistently and systematically in touch with, building relationships with, she has nothing because she hasn't built a list. All she's done is built her brand on social media. And guess what? Eventually, those people aren't going to see you on social media, or an algorithm is going to change, and you're not going to be as present with a certain part of your sphere of influence as you once were. So you have to use all of these points of communication, all of these points of relationship building, of marketing, in order to be successful in the business. So today, let's focus in on the first 2 parts of the framework. And the first one that I want to talk about is a return to snail mail. Yes, I did say it, snail mail. Now, it seems like that's so outdated. In fact, owning a company, we do a lot of things like continuing education that we're sending off to the state of Ohio to get approved so that you as agents can come and attend my class, and it is an approved Ohio continuing education class, or in one of the other states that I work with. But the particular thing about Ohio that's funny is that we have to send in every darn application via snail mail. Good grief. Are you kidding me? We can't do this electronically. So State of Ohio, Department of Real Estate, we love you, but could we please do something electronically? Now, I know what you're thinking too. You're like, you want me to send snail mail to someone's house, to their mailbox, right? Yes, I do. And the reason I want you to do that is because there is a lot of value in it as building a base or a foundation for your brand. Now, there's a couple of different ways that we use snail mail. The first way is through jumbo postcards. Why a jumbo postcard? Well, because on a jumbo postcard, an 5.5 by 8.5 is about the size of that jumbo postcard. When they get that in their mailbox, they're seeing a nice big picture of you. They're seeing real estate. And on top of that, they're also getting a marketing message from you and your expertise in real estate, or how you care for families that you serve in the real estate market, okay? So what's going to happen with that? Well, they're going to get that jumbo postcard, and they're going to look at it, and they're going to see your pretty face, and they're going to throw you right in the trash, right? Realistically, yes. But the thing is, if they're seeing you consistently over and over again, you are hitting them from a different medium. And if you have a good call to action on that jumbo postcard, you'll actually get some results from it. So what's a good call to action? One of the things I've really been liking lately is to do a QR code, okay? And on that QR code, have it direct to a landing page, maybe with a video of you giving a market update and inviting them to request a real estate review, to review the value of their real estate assets, okay? So that's it. You want to get your home value, you want me to send you your home value directly, then scan this QR code. They're going to get a video from you, another marketing message from you there, and it's going to be an effective place to have a call to action on that jumbo postcard. So jumbo postcards are important. There's other things you can do. If you want it to have staying power, then put things on there like I've always done spring and summer and fall festivals. So I'll send out one card. It'll have maybe 10 or 12 different festivals that are happening over the next several weeks this spring, or over the next several weeks this summer or fall. And that's something that they're going to keep because they want to have it on their refrigerator to remember when and where all of those festivals are. I always send out sports schedules once a year, usually July or August. I'll send out the Ohio State Buckeyes and Cincinnati Bengals schedules, okay? And I'll have them all put on a postcard with who they're playing. And then we don't break any trademark issues, but we put colors on there that would imply it. They put that on their refrigerator or wherever they put it, and it has our brand on it so that they're continually seeing that. It's something of value that has a little bit more staying power than just a standard postcard that they're throwing in the trash. Postcards, though, it's also a good place to build credibility. One of my favorite things that is kind of a old idea, but a new way of doing it are just listed and just sold postcards. When you send a just listed or just sold postcard to a neighborhood where you list the house, your chances of getting any business off of that, unless you farm that neighborhood and you are present on a weekly/monthly basis over and over and over again, your chances of getting any business is slim to none. So why not take that same just listed jumbo postcard and send it out to your sphere of influence? Now you're building credibility with your sphere of influence. Like, hey, look what I have. Look at the business that I'm doing. Maybe you have 2 new listings. Put 2 new listings on that postcard. And then when it sells, send out another postcard that says just sold on it with a little bit, some different pictures of that same listing. This is a phenomenal strategy that's going to put you in front of your sphere of influence that you're building relationships with twice and help you build credibility. So it's keeping your brand in front of them, it's being consistent, and it's building credibility. So that's the importance of the jumbo postcard, but it's not just about postcards. You can do a hand addressed letter. So you can actually put a letter in an envelope. However, don't just print on there. Don't just print a label and stick it on there, slap it on there. Actually write out their address. Now, I've got an agent. She actually taught me this in my last class that I taught, talking about these strategies. She said one of the things that she does is as soon as she has a closing, she takes the clear labels and she writes their address on those clear labels. And then she keeps that on one master sheet and passes that through her the copier so that when she prints on new clear labels, it looks again as if she's handwritten that address. What a phenomenal idea that cuts down a ton of time because hand addressing does take time. So I absolutely love that idea. But if you're going to send a letter, if you're going to put something in an envelope and you want it to get attention, make sure that that address is handwritten. I have a lot of insurance companies that are always sending things to my mailbox. And guess what they have found out? They have found out that if it looks like it has been a handwritten address, I'm much more likely to open the envelope. I bet if you think about it yourself, when you get something that's handwritten, you have a much higher chance of actually opening that envelope. So use that as a trick if you want to send a letter like a market update letter, or you're going to send out an annual real estate review that way. That's not always the way that I prefer that you send those out, but if you're going to send it out that way, great. Send it out that way. Make sure that it is hand addressed. So we've got jumbo postcards, letters with a handwritten address. The other thing is thank you cards, or just thinking of you notes, okay? These are notes that are handwritten, all right? We are not printing these out and just signing at the bottom. These are actually handwritten notes all the way through. Hey, John, I was just thinking about you today and thought I would drop you a note. I hope all is well with your family. And if you ever need anything, let me know. Thank you. Drop your business card in there and then put it in there. Or if someone sends you a referral, immediately send them a handwritten thank you note. Thank you notes are so incredibly powerful. Do you know what I have found over the past, year that I've been consistently writing thank you notes? And I'll tell you, every admin meeting that we have for our company, so all the leadership gets together in a meeting, we have thank you notes sitting around the table. We all grab thank you notes, and each of us writes a couple of thank you notes to one of our agents or a couple of our agents. I get more calls from agents saying, thank you for sending me a thank you note, or a text message. Thank you for sending me a thank you note. It really meant a lot. I really needed that today. If it's heartfelt and you write it from a position where you really care, it really does have a tremendous impact. And so thank you notes, or just thinking of you notes, incredibly impactful when you do it with care and you mean it, right? So there's got to be a little bit of heart behind that. I've always said that, if you can't care about people, you're in the wrong business, because we're in a people business, right? We serve real families that have real dreams. And so you need to care about people. And if you truly care about people and you send a heartfelt note to them, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so we are talking through the 6-point relationship building framework. And to tell you the truth, this one's going to take a few weeks. So I want you to just buckle your seatbelt and stick with me. But here's the deal. We have this list, okay? And when we have our list, we have to consistently and systematically build relationships with our list, which requires us to do some marketing. And so in this 6-point framework that includes mail, it includes calls and texts, emails, annual real estate review, client events, and social media. In this framework, the first part is you need to build that base foundation using mail, and I mean snail mail. And so hopefully you've picked up some valuable points today in jumbo postcards, letters that are hand addressed, handwritten notes. All of these things will help you in building your brand, building your business, and they're part, not all, but part of the 6-part framework. And so we're here to help you grow your business. Really, I always say I want to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. Now, why do we talk about some personal things and having healthier marriages? Because I believe if you're going to live your best life and achieve ultimate success, you've got to have healthy relationships. But then I also want to help you be successful in business, because so many of the good things in life are funded by a healthy business. For now, go, and you've got your list, go work on your mailing, and I'll see you next week.